Quantum Conversations, your portal to the inner realms. Access infinite possibilities, infinite mastery, and infinite love. Mind-expanding, heart-opening conversations with some of the greatest spiritual teachers, luminaries, and healers of today's world. Usher in new earth by living in your sacred heart. Quantum Conversations is brought to you by AcousticHealth.com, home of music from the universe, online healing retreats, and this program. Claim your free registration to daily shows at AcousticHealth.com. AcousticHealth.com, your portal to the inner realms. Our program starts shortly. Welcome to another Quantum Conversation, brought to you by AcousticHealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and I invite you to sit back as we enter the quantum realm, that space of the greater part of you. It is your connection to infinite possibilities, infinite potential, and infinite mastery. We are going into the multi-dimensional consciousness of whales and dolphins and the miracles they bring when we work with their energy. My guest today is being introduced to our audience, and she is Mermaid Mahalia. And this is truly a fascinating and remarkable story of one woman's awakening to greater gifts in her life and healing from trauma. Let's welcome Mahalia Michael to Quantum Conversations. Mahalia, thank you for being here. Welcome. Thank you, thank you. Say that again. You are now unmuted and Mercury retrograde. Hello.
Hi, Lauren. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so honored to be here with you and this quantum conversation.
We can already feel the beautiful, pristine energy, and I know the dolphins are with us and the whales are with us. You work with light and sound transmissions with this whale and dolphin consciousness. They've actually been instrumental in your own awakening. So before we get to this beautiful experience today with you, we're going to talk about your journey. You are the founder of Brain Bliss Academy, and this is something where you've healed yourself from injury, brain trauma, head trauma. So share that story with us, please. What happened there? And tell us about the year that this occurred.
My first head trauma was in elementary school, which I'd completely forgotten about, and it may not have seemed too significant to adults at the time, but I bonked heads racing my boyfriend around the school, and we met around the corner and bonked heads, and I saw stars and fell back and was taken to the principal's office to recover. What I've come to learn, though, about the brain is something as what seems insignificant as that can set the brain and the pathways of the brain and the brain waves themselves into a bit of a scramble. And what I've come to learn also is create a shadow frequency or a trauma signature that can attract more traumas. So then through my life, I count 7 major head injuries from sporting accidents, so mountain bike racing, snowboard racing. I drove a dirt bike head first into a garage wall, totally by random accident. However, when we have unresolved trauma that transmits a vibration of communication like a vortex, it can attract, like I said, just more unusual injuries or situations or circumstances. So then a car accident and one where I was knocked unconscious for 24 hours in my early 20s, and the paramedics thought I was dead when they found me, and I call it my third near-death experience. So there was a lot of years in between each injury, but what happened is into my say mid-20s to through my 30s is the post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms started to take over, because there's a shattering of the mind as it begins to deteriorate from these kinds of head injuries when we're not acoustically treating the brain with light and sound. We can go into deconstruction in a way. So I had fears, phobias, panic attacks, shortness of breath, long and short-term memory loss, I stuttered and I had to wear glasses, and the list was very long, and I couldn't understand because I exercised, I took vitamins, I had a generally positive outlook on my life, I had wonderful upbringing, great parents, and it just didn't equal how my life was turning out. Very, very much a lot of pain and suffering and drama, and more trauma, in fact, that my last head injury, I flew headfirst into a boulder off of a mountain bike and lost control of the handlebars, and I just basically, it's like seeing my life flash before my eyes, and I just prayed so loudly it would have sounded like a scream too. Please let me live. Please, what is wrong with me? Show me, the universe, tell me, help me, because I knew that there had to be more to life, and I was diagnosed with depression, so I tried one pill and I felt really weird when I took it, so I knew that didn't seem right because I was always very natural and alternative. And I met a wonderful friend I've already been, by this point, about 15 years into the wellness industry as a teaching herbalism and live blood cell analysis, reflexology, massage therapy. I loved the healing arts and really serving others, but I really was not in a good space myself. So this friend recommended Dr. Swingle, who was a psychoneurophysiologist who is the first doctor to measure my brain waves, and he said I had the brain waves of a war veteran and it was causing me a disability. And I just cried and cried for an hour in his office, and at that moment I realized that there was something seriously wrong, and it was my brain deteriorating. Practically imagine Swiss cheese, a brain with holes in it, because that's what happens. And most of my clients who work one-on-one with me begin to remember their head traumas, and because most of the time we bury it because some of that shock and that pain is too much for us to handle. And the beauty of recovering the realization of those brain traumas is people's brain can actually optimize a lot more efficiently. And so I went on a journey starting with Dr. Swingle doing neurofeedback. So you wear headphones and have specific sounds played into the ears that causes the brain to exercise in a way. And then that led me to many other brain rehabilitation acoustic technologies, including brain state technologies and Len Oakes's work. And I'd say I had about 100 treatments of my brain. I began to see colors more vividly. I gradually stopped stuttering. I noticed there was improvement. Now, the other thing, though, that as positive as I was, as many affirmations as I did, and I was a big reader, I read, and I was always studying wellness, I still had these negative thoughts and these fear-based thoughts that scared me. And I realize now it was the amygdala stuck as a part of the brain that was stuck in that survival mode where it would create images of me hurting myself or taking me out of the game of life. And I didn't understand. It scared me so much. So I've also realized a lot of my clients have that. And I'm not saying you have to have a physical brain trauma to have trauma signature in the brain or nervous system. It can be an emotional trauma, like a shock. It could be even watching a really scary, violent movie. It could be an emotional encounter, or sexual trauma can cause a hyperlock, as Dr. Hamer calls it, from German New Medicine, this maturation freeze that the brain goes through also from the trauma experience. And what I do with Brain Bliss, and basically after my 100 or so sessions, I had, I think, enough amplitude in my brain that I was blessed to be in Hawaii. Maui was my first time hearing the humpback whales. in under the water off of one of the beaches there, and I could not get enough of being underwater with their sounds. It was intoxicating, and it felt like the biggest remedy, and my heart was bursting and healing, and I would have swam out to be with them if I could have. And so from that Maui experience then onto Big Island, I was blessed to be with this incredible stealth group of dolphins that somehow activated me. They swam in this perfect formation circle underneath me. I was in the water with a dear friend, Lee, and he'd been swimming in the wild with the dolphins for years, so he said he'd never seen a set of dolphins like this. And usually dolphins have, some cuts or little fish stuck to them, or they look a bit weathered sometimes. This set looked incredibly perfect and majestic and mystical. So when I came out of the water that day, and it felt like so they were sonaring me, pinging me, singing, whistling, and it's like I was elevated out of the water into another realm. And when I came out of the water, I was lit up in total bliss and ecstasy for the whole day. And that night, I all of a sudden had this ability to see a shadow or trauma frequency. And I worked with a lady, and I saw what looked like a shadow hovering on the side of her head, and I asked her what had happened. She'd been bullied and hurt, punched in the head actually 3 years earlier. And then the sound came out of my mouth that cleared this hovering shadow, and she had been having recurring nightmares, and the very next day the first time in a long time, didn't have a nightmare. She had a really good dream. So that's when it kind of started, and I call it X-ray vision or remote viewing because how dolphins see each other in the ocean is they use the sonar from their melon, and they ping sound or frequency off of an object, and they ping it so many rates, like cycles per second, to get a readout of what's in front of them. So say it's a shark in front of them, they're going to ping it so that they can read, oh, that's a shark, and it will come back to them almost into their brain as an image. So I feel as though somehow that's how I'm able to work with clients remotely, is to have that ability to see where they are holding their traumas and how the positioning of their brain is because of those traumas, which may cause dysfunction in their life, including, like for me, poverty, pain, heartache, broken heart, to incredible limitations and fears and negative thoughts and heaviness. I was like a cloud always walking around, and yet, like I said, those affirmations and all that positive thinking did not change those dense vibrations. It was the whales and dolphins that did it for me. So, yeah.
In a heartbeat. Yeah, yes, I know. We've talked a lot about the feelings of being in the water with the dolphins and the whales, and even if you're on a boat and you see it, everyone on the boat is elated and overjoyed. So for even those who can't get to the dolphins and the whales, just a photo of a dolphin, or even just calling them in etherically. We're going to work and talk more about that in a moment, but this is the power and the love from the dolphins and the whales, and it really is quite spectacular. So you were activated and you began using tones and light and sound. So what was that like? Did you have your ego mind get in your way at first? How did you handle that, putting that ego behind so you could fully step forward with this light and toning?
Well, I've always had a passion to make the world a better place, and since I was a little girl, so that was I don't feel like my ego got in the way too much in that regard. And the other thing is that I was hungry to live because I really didn't know if I would make it. It was very serious, and so there was this hunger that just kept me going. And what started happening as I worked with more clients is the testimonies would come in, and then it did take me years and years to accept the fact that I was able to use my voice and transmit, connected with the whales and dolphins, to adjust where there's shadow frequency or trauma into light and into the DNA, the original divine template of the human. And they've also given me the ability just to see people already whole, perfect, and complete in pure love. So that's the template I look at when I work with people. I don't see their pain and suffering, although I know it's there, because we're designed to be in bliss. It's our birthright. Bliss really only means happiness, joy, contentment. And to feel that state of contentment out of fight or flight survival mode, which is sympathetic. And because I was a stress junkie, I was addicted to adrenaline, which I didn't even know. But my body was always like seeking that fix for those chemicals in my brain and body to be activated. And when I realized and came off that high of adrenaline and into the bliss molecules of the brain, which such as anandamide or dopamine, serotonin, the telomeres of creation through the heart and brain to our biophotons, the bioluminescence, the quarks, which I now teach in my programs that I've created, then I go, oh my gosh, like the human design is immaculate and meant to be in pleasure, not pain and suffering. And so we look at the world and we see there's a lot of that going on, and it comes on many levels. Like for me, fitness and nutrition are a very important part. Like it's a lifestyle, and to keep the brain tuned up acoustically, we're in my understanding, based on what I've been shown by the Bliss family of, I call them that, the Whale and Dolphin families of light and the Lyran High Council of Angels. They show me that, like, even Aboriginal cultures lived and didn't, like, age, say, such as with Alzheimer's or dementia. Rather, they aged gracefully and beautifully up to 90 or 100 years old, let's say, and chose when it was time for their spirit to depart. And it wasn't based on deterioration. It was based on evolution and creation, really. That is how I believe we're designed. And it doesn't take a lot for the brain to receive healthy light and sound in order for it to make its adjustments. That's also the good news. Like what may take someone years and years and years of different maybe therapies or counseling, and I think that's all very valuable and very powerful. But when they blend it with balancing and opening to healthy light and sound in the brain, they can really quicken their results and optimize, advance, and accelerate their gifts and abilities, and also their prosperity. Their focus can become different. Their new doors can open, and they can really become alive again. I've seen it happen over and over again with my clients.
Thank you for your beautiful work on the world. And we're going to be able to experience that. I would love, because it's getting a little edgy out there in our world. We can see that there's a fear program that's on high that's really challenging us. But yet we have the tools, and that's what you're offering, tools. So before we get to an experience like that, and Mahalia, maybe we could do a group one to really remove any and all fear that might be triggered in our current times. But I want to ask about tuning the brain acoustically and treating the brain acoustically with light and sound. And we can feel this when we experience it. That's really the best way to experience it. But in your research with the doctors that you were working with, were there any testings done on the brain that could show us how it changes?
With the computer-generated technologies, there's a screen and monitor you can see where it's like rainbow colors of the brain, and you can see them changing as different sounds go into the brain, and there's a replay back. That's one way of doing it. With my work, it's more results in a person's life and how they notice their up-leveling. But yes, there's definitely ways to measure the brain and measure the sound. So when a dolphin or a whale sings in the ocean, and I really want to say as well, for me, we're always in ocean. We're always in the energy because whales and dolphins are always with us here. They really love us and want us to thrive, and they're here to remind us about joy and love, unconditional love and forgiveness, and that as they sing, they create what's called a cymatic, and as we speak, even as humans, we create a cymatic, which, if you could imagine, a very, very intricate, beautiful mandala pattern, or orb with geometry and mathematics. Now, just like Dr. Emoto with the water experiment, you could put love on water and get beautiful patterns, or nasty words and get scary patterns. So it's the same when we use conscious sound with our voice. And I love crystal bowls, I loved gongs, I love all the sound healing out there. And then we go to the human voice. We're actually producing a piece of technology in a way that's coming from our actual breath, our consciousness, our heart, and it comes out as a thing. And this thing happens to be an intelligence that can enter someone else's brain and either optimize and uplift and create creation, or can create heaviness. And maybe people have been around someone who's more negative and they feel the heaviness. Well, it's an actual physical experience too because of these cymatics. So when a dolphin pings someone, or a whale does, that's a massive, massive cymatic, because their frequency is just so much stronger than the human voice. And just though to remind people, we don't need to be in the ocean with them. They're everywhere. And many wonderful stories of other humans having multidimensional conscious experiences being guided by whales and dolphins. So they're here. They're truly here, and it's wonderful. But I did have to do what you'd asked, Lauren, about clearing the fear. There's a light language blessing prayer that wants to come through, if it's okay.
Oh, beautiful, because, yes, because everything from politics to health to finances, and it really is wearing on the collective. So that would be beautiful. Thank you. Yes, and I'm excited to share nice little easy things people can do right away that's going to help them up and out of the density of of the 3D pain and suffering. Because our birthright, as I said, is really to be in that joy state. So thank you. If you only knew how brilliant, how genius you are. Honor your preciousness and your sacredness. Connect with your heart. Return home to your inner paradise. That's the ultimate freedom. Aloha. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Feeling the bliss there. I would like to ask you how this consciousness with the whales and the dolphins, it activated you and it opened up your clairaudience and everything so that you could scan. And when you toned, and as you say that it's our birthright, you see us as a whole template, and that template is one of joy and bliss. So would you say that when you offer the toning or the sounds, that you're actually restoring the bliss? What I'm doing is awakening the innate intelligence within the human form that knows bliss and knows light and sound. It's not me actually doing anything. I'm not a doctor. I don't treat, diagnose, or cure anything. I always like to make that clear. I always recommend people being with their medical practitioners if needed. And but what I really am is a reflector or a conductor of their musical instrument.
So if you think about yourself as a crystal bowl and your body is made of quartz crystalline structure and piezoelectricity, then, and say you stubbed your toe, and then the toe really is electric, but you stubbed it, so there's the energy of the electricity kind of just got sort of dimmed down, let's say. And then I would make a whale tone to dematerialize or reflect that dimmed down frequency where you stub the toe. And what happens is they meet each other, very similar to homeopathic medicine, but this is homeosonic. So a like sound meets a like sound. Trauma could be like a delta frequency, and the whale tones transmit as a delta, usually. So they meet each other and then kind of dematerialize, clear out to what I call recycling back to the womb of creation or 0-point field. And then once that happens, the electricity in the toe is there just waiting to be switched back on again. So you say dolphin tone now is more in a higher, faster pitch. It's more like an alpha, theta a tone, and that then gets the electrical current moving again. So, but it's just like I'm just the conductor of the exquisite musical instrument of the human brain and body, because the body's born to sing in harmony. Plants and your house plants are singing. It's the most exquisite songs. The trees, animals, they all have a frequency emanating from them. And if you've ever heard a plant sing, there's a technology from Damanhur, Italy, that you can hook up. And I've done this, and I was so enamored by the song of my split leaf rhododendron plant. So if you think about it, the human body is so miraculous. And if we allowed the cells to sing, and the way they sing is when we're in peace, when we're in parasympathetic state, which is resting, digesting, healing, and nourishing. Why I invite people to just be in their comfort, be calm and relaxed. So then the body can start to really play its harmonies. And so I'm listening for where we're in tune or out of tune, and then I'm just going to reflect that out of tune area, and sometimes the sounds that come out aren't very pretty, but yet they're also the language of buried emotions. And usually it's between shock, sadness, grief, even rage, anger, buried deep emotions that hold people back. It freezes and numbs people. And they don't even know it's there necessarily, like I didn't all those years from all my traumas. I really had completely, there was no connection to my brain at all. Like those head traumas had no link to why I was suffering. So this is what I really want to educate people about, is why you want to really love your brain and care for it, and your heart. The heart is the ultimate brain, and it's more powerful at transmitting signals than 5,000 times more powerful based on the Heart Math Institute. So if someone's had significant trauma, their heart is probably carrying a layer or two of unresolved emotion. And that emits, like I said earlier, a vortex or a vibration out to the world that will be an attractor factor. And what we want is to have this incredibly singing instrument inside of us that I call a paradise or heaven on earth. And it's your inner temple, because that's where all of the magic is, all the wisdom. It's not outside of us. It's in there. And not everyone feels comfortable looking within themselves or even knows how. But this is why I love teaching people how to use their voice and use it to actually reclaim their power, release emotion, and, just get more excited about the future.
Yes, hallelujah, rock on, beautiful.
Yeah, baby.
Yes, baby, come on, let's go. We need to be excited. I love what you said about plant music. Yes, I've been recording plant music for 10 years, 8 years actually, excuse me. It seems like 10 years, and it's so beautiful, the The plants totally do heal us, and we don't need the plant music, but it just confirms what's happening to us when we're out in nature. And so we're surrounded by it all the time. The whales and dolphins are with us all the time. We can call on them. I hope, so you work with people in personal sessions, and you do this where you've got, light and sound transmissions. I hope that you can do a group session for us. That would be beautiful to experience something like that. We can get there, but you also mentioned using your own voice to heal. And this is sound healing, the best sound healing on the planet. So you can do both of those things. I'm kind of wanting you to do a little group because, you bring forth the sounds, and that's going to be really interesting.
Yeah, well, my favorite thing to recommend to people, anyone who's had trauma, most people have, in fact, but who knows they've had significant brain trauma especially, or they're on the repeat cycle, they're on the looping of negative thoughts, is to just start gently and softly humming. So I call it a lower brain whale hum. Jonathan Goldman released the book, The Humming Effect, a while ago. I'd been teaching humming for, the dolphins actually showed me to do humming years ago, but I love it. It's such a quick way to change the neural pathways, to change the way the brain is thinking. Because the brain, and as Dr. Daniel Amen has said, we all have automatic negative thoughts. Every human does, but it can multiply when the brain is got a cloud over it, right? And then that creates a spin cycle. So we want to hum, and generally humming puts us in that better feeling thought, or better feeling in general. It can help us get into that parasympathetic state quite quickly. 5 minutes of humming can do wonders for the hormones, the blood, the heart. And once, when I was in a severe fear and panic, flying in fact, I had to hum for an hour and 10 minutes. And sometimes we need to, in order to change an old groove or an old pathway in the brain that has just been niggling at us. And I know most people have something like that, whatever it is. And then what happens is when we hum like that, we open to our higher brain mechanism, which I call the high dolphin angelic brain, or the Tesla brain, in the high neocortex, the newest part of the human brain. And it connects with our pineal gland, the third eye, which allows us that DMT expression that moves 3 to 5 feet out in front of our forehead, that does literally, physically, biologically, molecularly become our third eye. And that's how I was able to start being able to have more ability to see at a distance. And everyone has DMT in their pineal gland. It's known as dimethyltryptophan, and it's also known as the spirit molecule. So this is what makes us all one. Literally, we're one as humans, and plants and animals have DMT as well. So when we hum, we really are liberating so many wonderful things in the brain. And I will definitely do a group transmission here. And I feel
Oh, yes. I just wanted to say that humming is beautiful. It's even an ancient Vedic practice, a pranayama practice. So thank you for sharing that. We're literally changing those old pathways in the brain when we hum. So do this as we do house cleaning, when we're on a plane. And would you say that we can even do it? We can do it under the radar. We can hum so softly. I think many are humming right now. We have hummers around the world.
I've hummed in all kinds of places, and yes, you can do it very softly and quietly. In fact, because of the delicate nature of your brain, you definitely want to be gentle with any sounding or humming, because it doesn't take a lot to change the electrical function. So be gentle, always be gentle, and love that brain. Yeah.
That's why when you have a crystal bowl, you don't really want to stick your whole head into the bowl, right? Because it's a real pure sound. And I've even been with someone who really overdid it with the crystal bowls and got violently ill Like it was
Oh, wow.
really causing her to purge something. She was also in Mount Shasta, so that could be to explain as well. But yeah, so no loud sound with, you can't overdo it. You can overdo it, just don't overdo the sound.
Gentle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And to touch on clairaudience a little bit here, because we all had clairaudience as children in a way that we could hear inaudible frequencies. I will say, maybe not 100% all people, but I'd say pretty close to in childhood. In a way, why some kids have imaginary friends, or they hear things that adults don't hear, and when we're in the inaudible range, we then can connect sometimes multidimensionally more than just in audible hearing range. And then as we grow into adulthood, or we're exposed to a lot of adrenaline, cortisol, stress, we lose that inaudible range. And so how come I'm able to hear it again as I could as a child, and I talk with nature as a little girl? There's conversations, is my brain adjusted, and I became back into that acoustic range and became back into my high sensitivity. So some of my clients report having better hearing just from having the sounds, and what I want to encourage everyone who's listening is to just gently, consciously, softly open your ears and be aware that there's not just my voice, but there's this silent, yet there's audio going on, but it's inaudible. That is a bigger gift, a bigger service to awakening the basically the optimization of the brain. And that's how I can do sessions without you even hearing my voice, because we go into that inaudible realm, and there is beyond time and space. We are doing time reversal transparency. So we're going right to your origin of light. So I want you to imagine you're breathing in a beautiful diamond waterfall of energy through your crown. And this diamond waterfall is coming from the great central sun. And these millions and millions of precious diamond light reflecting rainbows. And as they penetrate deep into the crown, deep into the brain, they wash down the spine like a river through the tailbone that joins into the ocean of love, ocean of freedom, and ocean of heaven, the bliss that is our birthright here on earth. And that you open those precious ears of yours to connect with the whales and dolphins, and lure in high council of angels, the tall, white, beautiful, loving beings who are very acoustic, very central, very present to your upliftment. And this toning is for your brain and spine to make the reflection of shifting any shadow, any fears that have come up recently or have been held for a long time as a pattern. And in fact, if you like, please hum softly as well. So your humming is going to uplift that brain of yours. The dreaming of the beautiful waterfall of millions of diamonds and rainbows washing through your brain and spine, out your tailbone into the ocean of love, and feel yourself wrapped like a blanket, a cozy, safe, warm blanket, with the whales that swim around and beneath you, and the dolphins crown you at your high chakra, the zeal point and above. What's a total question? Uno amawe we so etia. Aya kuya tono au kumahanu etsu shushu etia kutianam. And so there is some tears coming up for some people. Ukawe shutunanwewe kuya hua wewe susuya kudan. That's very positive. It's wonderful. Tears come up because we're meeting you where you need to be met, seen, felt, heard, acknowledged, honored, witnessed. That you are this miraculous being who has suffered and struggled for way too long, and it is time to have that adjustment, to open to your gifts and abilities, to your abundance. Recycling, clearing, adjusting, lifting, optimizing, and feel as though this music, this maybe musical pattern that has been playing within you is actually just sprinkling off of you like dusty particles, and it's being vacuumed up, recycled back to the womb of creation. Just allow yourself to be bathed by the diamond river, by the rainbows, by the intelligence of the cymatics from the whales and dolphins. And we unite your heavenly body with your earthly body and your spirit body to this human heart. And we say, you are a divine being expressing the harmonics and the coherence of the universe through you. When you align with the divine, with the Holy Spirit, the Almighty Creator, all things are possible. And we cleared space just now for you to have more of you, more of life within you. And yes, the power of your voice can move mountains.
That was really beautiful and vibrant. I'd love to hear some experiences from everyone. Oh, I loved the sound of the whales, and before you said that there were tears, it felt like a lot of emotion was being released with the beautiful whale sound, and then tingling all across my torso and arms. Isn't that amazing? It's like density releasing, so more can come in. That's really beautiful. Oh, I love that. Thank you.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Liberating the brain. Liberating the brain. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that beautiful transmission of sound with the frequencies of the whales and the dolphins. You've got your program, Brain Bliss. And this is interesting because we've got comments in our chat line already in our Q&A. And Michelle in Tempe says, love you, Mahalia. You've upgraded the quality of my life with Dolphin Bliss. Yes. So this is Brain Bliss. And it's a personal session with you. But you've also got a program. You've got a couple of things. And one is something where it's dental bliss. And so this leads us into all of the things that you do, the programs that you offer. So let's talk about that. What do you do in a personal session with people? What's that like?
So they're in a comfortable position, sitting or lying down. We connect for approximately an hour. The session is recorded, so they have a replay of it. Although generally not everyone replays because they they transform pretty quickly, yet it's handy to have in case they ever want to go back to it. But what happens is mostly we merge, or there's a bonding. So like I talked about DMT, the spirit molecule, that's a way we bond as humans. And so then I'm able to actually have that telepathic communication to read your brain, your body, and say, okay, this is where sounds, I'm going to be toning here now to make an adjustment in this particular area. And it is like an adjustment, and then we bathe it, like we go into this recovery state, and I help people get into that more of that pleasure or bliss state as well. And when they go there, the body goes into, as I said, the recovery. It's quite a unique phenomenon with each person individually. No session is ever alike. And lately what's been happening is we're able to definitely go quickly into the past traumas, and people then remember, and once they remember, they're able to quickly release it. And we can go all the way back to birth, or, sometimes past lives come up, but that's not my main focus, because really ultimately when we go to the light of the DNA, we are going to the beginning of time. The beginning of time is a heavenly music. It's a heavenly sound that every human has, and that's where I like to go quickly. Like I like to take people there right away. Generally, I do 4-session minimum because of the tipping point nature of the brain. There's this time in where the brain gets as though you're taking it to the gym, let's say, and you started lifting weights, but you still aren't quite strong enough, and you need to keep going to the gym to get over that weight, to get to a newer weight. It's the same with the brain. It really needs tender, loving care, support. So generally, people who do my Amplify package of 4, they get automatic enrollment into my 3-month Power of 333, basically brain optimization program that gives them incredible education and tools, and I have approximately 10 programs, a brand new one I'm launching, the 444, starting March 4th, but generally people have transformation just from the programs, and they get the recordings of all that. And so it's a lifelong tool that will keep giving them the love of their brain and the support with these exercises that are super easy, that optimize those beautiful neurochemicals of ecstasy, because that's my favorite place to be in and to encourage people to be in, even when the world seems to be in such a turmoil. So there's that. But right now, with this time with you, Lauren, I'm offering just a 1 session, which would be a nice introduction to Brain Bliss and the technology. I prefer 4, however, with this, it would be a wonderful one-time experience, and then people can learn more about what I have to offer. Back to just when I did the toning there, I want to remind people, too, about the power of their voice. It was Dr. Tomatis who discovered the power of the human voice going into our ears. And for kids who had learning disabilities or hearing issues, or ADD or ADHD, those types of diagnosis, they would use their voice. He has this thing called the electronic ear that trains the child's brain with their own voice. So adults as well benefit from it. And I love Dr. Tomatis' work, and I just want to say, like, everything with Brain Bliss has been deeply researched and studied and guided every step of the way the last 10 years in the development of every single program to the detail, generally just like, me with a beautiful team of angels that help me. But the doctors I speak of have all done incredible work in the field of brain acoustic research and optimization.
Yes, it's quite incredible. Beautiful. All right. So thank you for, again, the work that you do and the way that you help people. We're going to take some questions from our audience. So if you are on the phone, *2 will allow you to raise your hand, and you can find the phone number at acoustichealth.com under Quantum Conversations live on air. Thank you. So, Mahalia, thank you. Your special offer is available at acoustichealth.com. It's in the marketplace under special offers. So the 444 is a 12-week experience. It's an educational program, and this goes through various emotions that affect the body. So talk a little bit about this course, because that's the one, the 444, that is starting coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, super exciting. I love it. So always with each program, I'm definitely guided by this beautiful multidimensional group, and the 444 was called forward because of the body's health. So there's weekly transmissions for weekly topics. So say we're working on the fascia or the microbiome, the bowels, liver, gallbladder, kidneys, heart, lungs, brain, spine, the nervous system, the reproductive area. There's going to be for each of those a weekly transmission. So we do 2 20-minute transmissions and a recorded webinar. So that's a 12-week journey. People get all of that to keep forever, but it's best to do them live and have the experience of the transmission. And what I mean by that, just similar to what just happened, let's say someone has had a surgery, so they may have scar tissue with the fascia that's caused some disharmony in the body. When we do the fascia transmission that week, or connective tissue, we are doing it with the intention to clear the trauma of the surgery or of the experience that they had. Maybe, there's just a multitude of ways that the fascia can be interrupted in its flow, and then we're opening up basically the electrical communication as much as possible through the sounding, through the light, and then with the education. So when people get the power of their body, as I've described in many other my programs, then they get wisdom and they get knowledge, and then they get more powerful. So it's a beautiful win-win, and it's so, to me, it's a very reasonably priced program to make it affordable for almost anyone. And that's also why I've done my free group monthly call on the first of every month for almost 5 years now, is because when I was deeply suffering, I was also in poverty, basically, very, very poor financial state, and I didn't know how I was going to afford to fix my brain or save my life practically. So I do try and make it affordable for people, including my free calls. That's a way to give back. And so yeah, the 444 is starting March 4th, and I highly recommend anyone who hasn't journeyed with me or in a program. It's a lot of fun. It can be very purifying, strengthening, uplifting, and the intention is around wealth, weight, and wonderment. So creating a wealth mindset around the physical human temple, so creating the wealth vibratory field as well, that will attract more quality things into the person's life, more wondrous, wonderful abundance. And so that's changing the vibration from the past and renewing into this whole new mystical, musical field that is their natural state, ultimately, with the help of the whale and dolphin families of light. And weight has it having to do with, some people want to gain weight or put on some pounds, some want to drop. I'm not focusing on size in that way. I'm focusing on the nutrient level, the enzymatic level, the probiotic level of every cell in the body, the communication of every cell in the body. So what that person needs, if it's up or down, they're going to get it on another level using light and sound. I don't make promises or guarantees. It's the intention is there, and then the wonderment has to do with them connecting with their own multidimensional realm, and with their, possibly having their clairaudience awakened or their telepathy getting stronger. So this is all guided by the Brain Bliss team of angels, and I feel this one is also with a webinar is going to have me demonstrating, but also it's a transmission of light language with body movements and hand movements that I haven't really done too much before, but that's what is coming through now.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is so interesting. Great. Okay, so really tuning into any trauma vibration in the body, anywhere in the body, and using the sound techniques to really release that trauma and get over it. That's really beautiful. We've got some questions coming in that I'll get to in just a quick moment. There is a question about the dental program, and that is Mary. She says she's a singer and needs her teeth to stay in her head. She says they're kind of a mess through her own neglect and other dental work, but will this dental workshop, the Dental Bliss workshop, help her with her teeth? So talk about the Dental Bliss workshop, because this is another program, and it's actually been a topic we've talked about lately.
Dental Bliss is now, it's a pre-recorded, it's 3 one-hour webinars plus an intro webinar. And it has to do with the connection to your ancestry in the teeth. Left is the mother's side, right is the father's side, upper palate is heaven, lower palate is earth. And it's the reintroduction to the pathways that each tooth creates and connects to, just like meridians to the organs in the body, and where there has been suppressed emotion and where there has been unresolved traumas or emotions connected with either father or mother side. So it goes deep into those missing pieces for many people, and it purifies the water of the canals of the teeth. So we think that there's 2 or 3 canals per tooth. There's up to 75. Those canals are like rivers that go to an ocean. So imagine a river plugged up with plastic and garbage the way they have been on Earth. It's the same with our canals of our teeth. If we are plugged up with unresolved emotion or anger, you're clenching. I used to clench and grind my teeth so much because of the adrenaline response. And now I don't, but that was cause for deterioration. Now, through Dental Bliss, there are exercises that if a person were to do those exercises, they would have a result. They would strengthen, they would purify. I can't say whether it would save their teeth or not. We have this belief that teeth can't regrow, but the teeth are always cleansing themselves naturally. Enamel actually does regrow, and there's stories of people who have regrown their teeth. A woman in her 60s. Now, I can't make, I don't want to make, again, promises or guarantees. I love Dental Bliss because we rarely connect our teeth to our history, but your teeth are like Christmas tree lights on a Christmas tree. So if one light goes out, and this is based on Dr. Jerry Tennant's work and his connection to teeth, because they're really like the battery packs of the body, or the like lights of a tree. If one light goes out, the other lights will shine, but you'll know that one light is out. So you want to focus on that light, and you want to get to the root of it, like literally, not just the dental root, but the emotional root. And so Dental Bliss is like kind of a very easy to follow along way to dive in there and start doing the exercise techniques that are not difficult. They're easy. And I share one client, a friend who had a major bone decay at her top of her front 2 teeth, and would have needed surgery, and she just started with the horse lips, like blowing and so you're creating a vibration, and that vibration is altering the trauma. If there's decay or degeneration anywhere in the body, it's a degenerative vibratory field. So you horselip, you liberate new electrical current. Think of the brain and body as that musical instrument that is electric, that is musical, that is water, that is air, and you start to get in touch also, with the universe, because we go deep into the bones and the bone marrow even. So beyond the bones, as Hawaiians believe the bones were the most sacred part of the human body because they carried the memories and the ancient wisdom, the records from history. But you can access the cosmic world through the bones. Like, it's all available to us, but we just haven't been encouraged to tap into it. And I love encouraging people to tap into their cosmic reality and to get the power of their voice and the power of their musical instrument, because it's exquisite, like truly, truly. And on that note, the other thing we haven't been encouraged to do as humans is to use our voice. We're told, be quiet, be polite, be this, be that. Well, I was told to lip sync happy birthdays growing up because
you can't sing.
No, I cannot sing. So
shut up! You don't get to sing. I know.
Yeah, so when I started making sounds, I was embarrassed in a way, like, oh no, they're gonna hear that I can't sing, but it doesn't matter. These are sounds of ancient wisdom. These are sounds of like the body codes producing the cymatic, the mandalas that move beyond the ego mind, the one that wants to control, that wants to compartmentalize everything. We go beyond that with the sounds and the light language, and that's a higher intelligence. That's the gifts that our whale and families have for us. And they're not just with me. They're with all humanity. Like, I just happen to be, just was more prepared, I guess, to receive them when I did. But as people prepare, and most of my clients, they get deeper relationship with the whales and dolphins and the Lyrans. It's been incredible to witness. Wonderful.
Oh, well, when you were bringing through that transmission, we heard the kahuna. It was amazing. And the different voices that came through you. And just know that is, we're creating that mandala, that cymatic mandala with the sound. Okay, well, I just want to wrap up the Dental Bliss program because we do mastery empowerment courses here, and this is like one of those courses. It is extremely effective. You've got your first video, which is an energetic dental cleansing, and the emotional pattern release. And then the second session is accessing the wisdom and messages from your teeth. This is knowing what we know within us. And so you teach us how to access that. And then the last video, in addition to that free first webinar that comes with that, is how to transmit energy from your teeth. What do you mean by that?
Okay.
Shining the light again, right?
Right. So say we want to make sound, and we want to make a kind of sound that changes reality in a good way, and we yet have been carrying baggage from our ancestry, or we're still angry at our family of origin for whatever reason. We haven't done our personal work. We haven't fully let go, and we're trying to sound. Well, it's going to bounce off your teeth, because your teeth are like computer chips, each one with millions of bits of information. They're the most precious diamonds on earth. If people would just realize that and honor their teeth, they would turn their teeth into healing tools, like crystal bowls. So every sound I produce, I am aware I produce a white clarity through my teeth when I sound, because I'm producing a code. So I want my code to be as pure as possible to my client or person I work with or group. And if people are not clear or haven't done that, or gone through and recovered and, just dove in and straightened things up from their past, not saying that doesn't have to take long either. It could happen very quickly. It's just that the teeth carry our records. They carry all the information of your body and the DNA to the level of consciousness, to your history. Same with the whales. So the whale teeth are the Akashic records of this Earth and all of the universe, like basically this known universe.
Wow.
The whales carry that, and they sing it into the ocean. And the whale songs in the ocean are essential to keep balance on the bottom of the ocean floor. And when a whale tones down into the bottom, it produces a magenta color, which is the Magdalene color. And they're really, it's about balancing really the feminine and masculine as well, the Shiva Shakti within. And we become more androgynous but how do I want to say that? I don't need to really go down that path right now. It's just that, realize the power of your teeth. And if some people are missing teeth or have dentures or have had lots of surgeries, it's okay. Don't think you can't do this as well. It's a matter of, paying attention to the teeth you do have and to what is going on in the canals of your teeth. Because the canals, like I said, like meridians, your front two teeth are kidney, bladder. And they're going right back. The back, wisdom teeth and beyond is heart and small intestine. So, if the wisdom teeth have been pulled and it's linked to heart and intestine, how has your heart been, and do you need to pay more attention to your heart? It's not something to be afraid of. It's just, that obviously needed to happen. There was a cleansing. There's a reason for everything. But to go deeper into the person's gifts and abilities, why are they being guided to go into their heart? So when they do, they open doorways in there. The heart is the power of 10,000 suns, and it expresses such illumination when we allow it. And so bringing it all together, swirling it as this incredible coherence in each and every person's body, it creates life. It creates creation. It creates movement, momentum, and wholeness. So we're either creating or destructing. And I encourage people to be in creation and with their teeth as well. With every word they speak, many people are in negative speaking forms. Many people. And it's coming off their teeth, and it's coming off the anger that they've buried. And it doesn't serve anyone around them. In fact, it's depleting to people. Mm-hmm. So if we want to uplift, then we engage our teeth, we engage the light from the computer chips, millions of bits of information from these exquisite gemstone diamonds of our teeth, and we transmit these rainbows out into these patterns, and we uplift, we create, we focus on that. If someone's ready to, they'll be amazed at what they can do with their voice.
Beautiful. I know there are many who are ready to speak their authentic voice, tone their authentic voice, and uplift the world. Thank you so much for the work that you do. These programs in your special offer, we're really fortunate. They're 50% off. And that is such a great gift for those who want to go in and really work with the teeth and work with the wisdom of the teeth and transmit your energy through the diamonds of your mouth. That is beautiful. And it brings to mind the Hawaiians. You're equipped with ancient Hawaiian wisdom and the power of aloha, and our words are aloha. So our words are spirit, so we speak highly and with integrity. So I just want to thank you for both of, or all three of those options. Please check that out with Mermaid Mahalia's package. Awesome. Let's go to some callers now. Let's go. I wanted to say Penny says hello as well. She says,
Hi,
my life is not the same since having sessions with you and learning about the brain. Thank you so much and many blessings. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And then there's one here. Patricia says, I felt that I was a mermaid in another lifetime. Yes, if you suspect it, it is true. And Mardell would like to know, How do I heal a past life trauma and fear of the ocean?
Wow. Thank you for the question. I would focus on the ocean being all around you anywhere you go, whether it's walking down the street to driving the car to, going ready to fall asleep at night. It's awareness of being in an electrical atmosphere, and we're in water vapor all the time, so we're actually breathing water all the time, and that your presence to that connects you to the bigger ocean of life and the physical ocean. I think that would be a start anyways to do that. Depends on the trauma from the past life. I would say I generally, like I said earlier, don't focus too much on past life as we return through time reversal transparency to the original DNA template. Yet by going back through in that return, we can alter that trauma experience. What can I say here? Probably a more one-on-one would be beneficial. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the past life, I mean, it's there, it's something, and it can be cleared, so that's the bright side. That really is the bright side. Okay.
And I think that's happening for a lot of people right now, too, is big old fears are coming up from either this life or many past lives, and it is coming to the surface because all of our frequencies are being raised. There's an amplification, there's a speeding up of the planetary field in the collective and beyond. So perhaps this person is feeling that, and are they wanting to go swim in the physical ocean or be with the dolphins, or is it that they just are aware that this has paralyzed them as a fear?
Yeah, right, that's a good question, right? So Mardell, yeah, let's see. It's just how do you heal the past life trauma and fear of the ocean? You can do it. All right.
The ocean is all around us and within us, and I want to say too, it really is normal for every human to have fear. It wouldn't be natural if we didn't have fear because it stimulates survival. It's just when fear takes over our bodies and brains is when it becomes a problem. And because what's more higher vibe is love, is that, if he were to transcend the fear into love, what would that look like? What would it feel like? And feel those emotions, feel what being with the ocean as love would be.
Okay, thank you. We have I have a comment from Melissa, and you may have a message for her. She says, when my son died, the only thing that brought me peace enough to even sleep was listening to the whale sounds. That's traumatic, Melissa, and I hope that I don't know if one ever fully recovers from that experience, sweet sister, but I hope that you are clear on the other side. I feel like crying right there with you. I hope there is peace with you on that.
And you're telepathically connected to your son. And keep listening to the whales.
Oh, that brings tears to my heart. Melissa, we are with you, sweet sister. Keep listening to the whales. And I want to share that Mardell shared a comment. I was trying to swim with the dolphin and whales in Kona a few weeks ago, and it was very frightening.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of regulation, especially in Hawaii now, about the swimming in the wild with them, and it's illegal to swim with the whales, actually, and you can't even get too close to them by boat. And to swim with the dolphins, you really need to go with someone who is an expert in being in those waters. It's never to be done alone. There's etiquette about dealing or being around dolphins. You're not supposed to swim towards them or try and touch them or go out, very deep. There are some protocols. So if you covered all the protocols and you still had a scary experience, of course, the waves have gotten stronger. The weather can change very quickly. There's so many factors, whether you had a life jacket on and I personally,
This is Mardell, who had the past life trauma, though, too. So good on you, though, trying to get in the ocean.
Yeah,
still getting into the
good.
ocean. So go ahead. I didn't mean to. I just want to interject there.
I want to remind people how, because this more free whales and dolphins are, because Hawaiian people do not go, it's not in their mind or culture to swim with whales and dolphins. It's just not. They honor the ocean life as the ocean life, and they honor the land life as the land life. And so, like, if I don't swim with a dolphin again in my life, it's okay, because I know that they're all around us all the time. And I want to remind people of that, encourage that they really mentally and emotionally and spiritually bond with them right in their own homes, that they actually feel their love and their presence, so they don't feel they need to go and swim in the ocean, because it can be scary for people. And I feel like that what he did was very courageous, and that it did, on some level, it did make an adjustment for him from his past life experience, and that but we don't want to push or force our optimization. We want it to be loving, peaceful, gentle, and not a challenge, or not a way of controlling or contorting the self into its desires, let's say, like pushing it. It's more being in receptivity. So I will share, I was just at the Grand Canyon, and I have a fear of heights. So I was nervous to walk near the edge, and I was with one of my best friends, and so she had no fear, and I noticed my tailbone would just do backflips. It felt like when I got too close. So maybe a past life experience that I was very afraid something happened, and it turns out it was a bigger fear of, and it was just leading up to this interview with you, Lauren, of really actually will I fall, will I stumble, will I hurt myself, will I be hurt if I get more of this information out there, in fact, or get this more people in touch with their voices. And it turns out that I had a dream that night of I was falling off the edge of the Grand Canyon, and all of a sudden a bird, a big, huge eagle-type bird, came and swooped me, and I flew on this huge bird with these big wings.
Wow.
And the next day I went, and I could be by the edge, and I could walk along without hesitation or fear. Like, it was as though I was in the ocean of devotion. I was able to feel the peacefulness. So if that helps anyone out there, or this person, we have things we are each clearing, and if we're willing to, that dream came very effortlessly to serve me and if I was willing to understand the dream and realize that I didn't have to chase after it, it came and it let me heal myself. It let me heal that deeper feeling. Then we have so many blessings in when we surrender to them.
That's the key word, the operative word, surrender. We surrender to our gifts like you surrendered to your gifts, and you are provided for when you do that. You are creating that vortex of your own energy, and it is magnetic, and it works. And this is what we assist everyone in doing in their own life as well, and empowering. And I love how you're really using sound and teaching us all how to use our sound to liberate our brain and to instantly shift our energy. It is exquisite. Okay, we have time for a caller or two. This is not like a mini session or anything. As you know, Mahalia can scan you. It takes her a minute to get into looking at that because of the adamantine particles and all of that. So it's not going to be very deep, but we invite you to ask a question. Here we go. We're going to, I think it's Jackie in Jacksonville, Florida, area code 904. Hi, you're unmuted. What's your name, please?
Hi, this is Jacqueline.
Hi, Jacqueline.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. Hello. Hi, Mahalia.
Hi.
I have such an incredible connection with whales and dolphins also, and I feel their presence with me quite a bit. I am trying to get my children back, and to pull them out of, an abusive relationship with my ex-husband. And so when you said earlier on the call that, the power of the voice moves mountains, I feel like that's what I'm facing. Mm. And I don't even know what to ask. It's just, if there's any guidance in that way.
Mm-hmm. And so the instant image that I was given was, from the back of your heart, you have a portal to Lemuria, it looks like. You have a connection to Lemuria. That is why you're connected with the whales and dolphins. And the more you open that connection, the more you are going to change and adjust the frequency. And starting to have a conversation in your mind of the light that the X carries, as much as you want to, the primal brain and the limbic brain want to keep the cycle of what the past was and how it appears. But beyond it, there's something much bigger going on. And you have the ability with your connection to Lemuria to see what beyond. And as you see beyond, you see the result you want. You start to thank the past, because you have anger towards the past. You've had many challenges, and as you start to have deep reverence and gratitude for what was behind you, and you leave light behind you, then you start to do it in front of you as well. And this won't work coming from fear or control. It will work coming from creation. And you're so gifted with the connection to the Lemurians, and perhaps a calling maybe to Mount Shasta or Kauai, that you're being asked, it feels like, to definitely go deeper now with that and use the power of positive thinking, in fact, and clearing the vibratory field within you, letting go, unraveling, vocalizing, humming. And I suggest the ha, just H-A, ha, from the heart, with those intense emotions you have. I'm not denying what looks and appears to be going on very dysfunctionally in the 3D world with your experience. Yet, the power you carry can see beyond that. And this is the eyes you need to start looking through, and you will have your results. I've actually assisted several clients through some legal things based only on shifting what I just shared with you, like the vibratory field and the way, what you're choosing to focus on. I'm telling you, not only do your words create those cymatic type codes, but your thoughts do. They release things into the universe. So if you're repeating a thought about your ex over and over and again for day after day, month after month, year after year, you're going to solidify that reality. And you want to be in unsolidification, because that's where magic is. That's where healing takes place. It's truly it's a science and it's the laws of nature, and you deserve that, and you can have that. I have no doubt. No doubt. Yeah, you need to give strength to your heart, because your heart feels like it almost just bruised, I want to say, or heavy. There's a blanket over it, and that, again, you got to vocalize that out. So you start using your voice and do your ha's. I think, and maybe, I think maybe even the 444 program would be awesome for you if it's something you feel called to, because when people have been in 3D and then you're dabbling and going into more multidimensional, which you've been with the whales and dolphins, but you start to make that transition. It's nice to have support of people who have already done it and been on both sides now. So that's what I'm able to help. Does that resonate with you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Yeah, you feel lighter already. Good job.
Thanks, Jacqueline, and have fun in Kauai. Let me know when you're going.
All right.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's do another caller. We're almost out of time, but it's just so beautiful to see you so intuitive and in tune to everyone. So let's go to Denise. It looks like Denise here. Hi, Denise.
Oh, yay. This was so meant to be. This is so perfect. Thank you so much. I am back in wonderful Colorado Springs. I had a very serious traumatic brain injury. I was hit at 70 miles an hour while teaching a ski lesson from behind. So I have vision damage and all that. And I just came back from 6 months in a concussion clinic in Dallas where they used electrical impulses and all that to get a lot of the inflammation off the brain. And I'm doing all this stuff. You know, I have other injuries that are easy to fix, you know, a couple fractured vertebrae in the neck and shoulders and all that. But I think that there's a key here for me that you have that, let's see what you pick up, that other things that I can do that are not so just medical, you know, light, sound.
Yeah, so the shock to your occipital is being held on the left hemisphere, which affects your visual cortex to the right eye more than to the left eye, but the actual there's the shock frequency held in place there, and it was such a significant blow that there's a separation between I guess what we would say is an electrical current where they would like have to jump to reunite, and it almost feels, you must feel like you have had a separation at the back of the skull there, the occipital.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I'm in that gap right now, and I want to help you bridge the gap. And a lot of emotions are coming up for me right now because when the body has such a shock to it, it doesn't know where to put those emotions. So they've also been displaced, and I am feeling them on your behalf. And don't worry, I'm good. This happens a lot. So the Lyrians are tapping with their finger gently on the just behind your left ear to where the severed area has been energetically. What you're hearing right now is the language of the shock and the gap. You can hear how distorted it sounds, right? And it pushed your upper two vertebrae, the Atlas and axis, over to the right. And that will affect your spine and your tailbone. So We're just doing a little adjustment to the atlas and axis. And it blew your breath away, and you're like you haven't fully caught your breath back yet. Chest and heart, the sternum and the thymus gland have been displaced a bit as well. So breathe in the diamond light, please, and just feel yourself wrapped in loving arms in a cocoon of love by the whale and dolphin families of light. So there's a little bit of tingle coming back in there. So that means there's some feeling coming back where there's been numbness where that gap was. All right, so the atlas just slightly moved again nicely to the left. So it also scrambled a bit at the your visual cortex to the pineal a bit, like where you feel like you may have vertigo and that or imbalance or your reflexes aren't quite the way they were, and that's like a chasm or and a link between the suprachiasmatic nucleus to the pineal and almost part of the third ventricle, your cosmic consciousness. So I want to calm that down as well. We want to, I should say. It probably makes you feel like you need to vomit or you feel almost queasy.
Yeah, I'm nauseous all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's because of this chasm here. This is the sound of the chasm. Just so you know, anyone listening, these sounds are just meant to optimize anyone who's listening, yet it's adjusting the field or reflecting to this particular person. What's your name again?
Denise.
Denise, right, thank you. The beauty of human sound is the brain and body will only use what it needs, or whale and dolphin sounds. The brain knows what to use and what to discard. So I'm in the left eye cortex too, where there was there bleeding in your left eye?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the what would be like a blood clot there now, and I'm so just needing to sound on behalf of that as well. And I want you to breathe in the diamond light and truly take in all the colloids, the adamantine particles, the Holy Spirit, where anything is possible in this realm of faith and connection to your innate intelligence. Was a significant trauma. All right, that does feel better. There's more communication at the occipital. There's a smoothing out at the pineal connection, that your equilibrium, and this behind the left eye. There's an electrical current that's just going to help it smooth out over time. It's not that's one that is got to retrain itself, and it can, because of stem cells, because of the mitochondria in the cells, and the fact that through your thyroid hormone, you're always producing new cells, and the dentate gyrus of the brain, you're producing new cells. So I want you to focus on the fact that your brain and body has the intelligence and power to repair itself, and it will. But I'm happy that to say that this does feel better. Again, I would like to say you would benefit from working one-on-one, yet fantastic first adjustment.
Yeah, that feels a lot better. I actually had an atlas adjusting doctor. My atlas got knocked way off, just like you said. But that didn't seem to help. This did.
Yeah.
I feel a little more balanced, feel a little more like I can be in my body a little better.
Yeah.
I feel like the words are kind of coming out of my body for a change, like I'm connected.
They sound like Denise. Yes. So, not to say, I love all medical professionals that we all work with. It's very important. The difference with what I do is I work with the shadow of the trauma, and that is where, with your Atlas and Axis, his adjustment probably was definitely in momentum, yet what I did was just to communicate the trauma that was linked to the Atlas and Axis, so that allows it to fully make its way home. And I want you to think like all things are making their way home now, and that you are more in your body, and you're not so separated. So tears can come up later after this call, and or just a release. Just be aware that the depth that this transmission just will go is taking you into retracing. So moving through all the emotion perhaps can come up, and that's a good thing, because you'll feel stronger after. Okay.
Exactly. I'm open to everything. So thank you. That was incredible, Loren. Thank you for calling on me. That was amazing. I must tell you, I went through so much medical, right? And I can tell when something works and when it doesn't. And yes, they got 82% of the information off my brain, but I didn't feel that much better. At all. Really, I feel better from this. I knew there was something, so thank you. Yes. Yes, yes.
You're welcome.
And yes.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, sweetheart.
love.
Thank you. Much love. Take care.
Thanks, Loren.
Thank you, Denise.
Hi.
And thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's really amazing to see you work, Mahalia, and it's so fascinating. Wow, you are really in tune, and you are spot on. And apologies to everyone who has their hand raised that we are out of time for today. But if you want to work with Mahalia, her special offer is there for you in a number of beautiful ways to make this into your life, whether it's a personal session or 12 weeks with her in the 444 course, or even the Dental Bliss, which is a beautiful, very effective introduction, more than an introduction. It's a comprehensive course that will get you into the power of your teeth and living your beautiful expression. So Mahalia, thank you so much for being here. As we say goodbye, can you offer some sound and light language to close our space?
Thank you, Lauren, and to everyone listening, all the beautiful sentient beings, all the acoustic crystal bowls of us human collective wisdom and love here. I want to let people know I have my free call March 1st at 9 a.m. Pacific. That the info's on my website as well. If they want another 20-minute live group transmission, they can tune in on the 1st of every month for 20 minutes. So that's complimentary. And I'd love to just share the whale and dolphin light language leering love to sign off And again, mahalo nui loa. Thank you so very much. I'm so honored to be here and to be with everyone here. We're having another big adjustment for the collective group here. Releasing another layer from our beautiful brains to open, to optimize, advance, accelerate, raise up, lift up, take it up, kiss the great central sun with the top of your head, your 0 point chakra, reach up to the diamond waterfall, let it fill you to overflowing. Yes, yes, yes. Feeling the upliftment. Oh, I love it. Wonderful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Honoring all of nature, all the music of life. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, audience. I love you.
We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our hearts are warm and our hearts are open and we are aligned. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in this magical space today. Thank you for your light. Thank you for your open heart. You are changing the world. You got this. Thank you, Mahalia. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's 444 right now on my clock.
Ah, that is so beautiful. I love the signs. Thank you, everyone. We're going to dance our way to the cosmic heart now, but one more shout out for Mahalia's special offer. Check that out at acoustichealth.com in the marketplace under QC special offers. Thank you and namaste.
Namaste.
quantum conversation, and thank you for dancing with us to the cosmic heart. As we raise our own vibration, we raise the vibration of the planet. This show is dedicated to you and all awakening hearts, as we are here to shine our bright light and amplify our love. Access all quantum conversations, special offers from our guests, and online healing retreats by visiting acoustichealth.com. I'm Loren Gailey, and from my sacred heart to yours, I honor your magnificent love and light. We leave you now with music from the universe. Music literally created by the universe, as musical notes were assigned to mathematical equations. The result is this beautiful music, available at acoustichealth.com. Namaste.